Hey everyone, today I'm here with someone you may recognize from some of my other videos, Christian Griesi. You haven't been in any videos recently, but that's because you had something happen to you very, very recently. So what happened?
Well, long story short, I cut 2.5 fingers off my hand.
Yeah.
My right hand.
Now,
My thumb, my pinky, and half of my ring finger.
as you can see, thankfully, at least as of now, the pinky and the thumb are reattached, albeit, you know, with fused and limited mobility or completely eliminated mobility. But for now, they're there. And so what we wanted to do was kind of, I guess, document Christian's road to recovery. Because obviously, before this happened, he was a very competent gun enthusiast, gun user. Gunslinger, let's say, professional gunslinger.
I like that word.
And obviously this is going to inhibit that, at least for the immediate near future. And so what we want to do is show him kind of over time his path to getting at least as back to full function as possible. To what would you say your goal is? To be able to manipulate your 1911 one-handed?
Feels like a lofty goal, but yeah, I think my biggest goal is just to shoot pretty much anything one-handed.
Okay.
Just one hand, right hand would be really nice to be able to do that. At this point in time, I don't feel like that's a realistic goal, but I've never been about realistic goals, so let's go with it and see what happens.
Sure. So now that we've kind of explained generally what this video series is supposed to be, let's kind of go back to the beginning. How long ago did this happen?
This happened on December 5th, and it's the 1st now, so just shy of a full month.
Yeah, so Happy New Year, by the way. Today is the 1st of January. Now, obviously, you kind of ran into some issues using some power tools on
Yeah, I was using a skill saw to cut plywood, and the skill saw grabbed the glove of my right hand, because I was doing left-handed, and pulled my hand into the blade, and in about, I would say, half of a second, quarter of a second, bang. Thumb was about 7 feet off the one direction. The pinky was dangling from a slipper of skin, and they never did find the top of my ring finger.
Oh, so that's like an Easter egg for somebody to find.
Either that, or the dog ate it, because there was a dog on site, or it just blew apart, or just got chewed up. So, because it wasn't in the glove I was wearing, it wasn't on the ground immediately where we could find it, but it was a significantly smaller piece of my thumb. So, but I think the dog ate it. I like to think the dog ate it.
Yeah, I guess that's a more optimistic viewpoint. So, since I don't want to possibly get this video taken down by YouTube by including pictures of the immediate aftermath.
It was so gross.
Yeah, it was. He sent me pictures right away, and it was pretty gnarly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link to my website, and I'm going to post those pictures on my website. So they are not for the faint of heart. They are graphic, and but if that's what you want to see, then you can see what happened. And obviously as time goes on, we'll be, I guess, showing you close-ups of his hand and where it's at as time progresses, just so we can get a good idea of how things have progressed over time. Because it's already been a month. I can say, as I was telling you earlier, I can notice a huge improvement in how things look over what it looked like right away. And I can only imagine that it's going to get exponentially faster from here on out. So obviously with this series, we want to kind of cover his goals on his path to recovery. So do you have any specific goals for this video series?
Well, to be perfectly honest, this is more of a self-serving kind of a series that I want to do. Maybe it'll be helpful to somebody else down the road, but what I've noticed in the month that I've been sitting on my ass every day, all day, I spent 2 weeks in the hospital, and then here it is another almost 3 weeks at home. I've gotten ridiculously depressed. All I'm doing is sitting around thinking about the things I cannot do. I mean, I can't hold a gun in my right hand. I can't even pull a 2¼ pound trigger on my 1911. I can't play video games with my kid. I can't button my own shirts, man. I can't even zip my own coats because I've got zero ability to do any of that with just these 2 little fingers that barely work. So it has put me in a state of just a perpetual bleh. And I kind of want something to work toward, something to chronicle my work toward, because like Ryan said, I don't see a hell of a lot of difference in my thumb. I mean, yeah, it's a little less swollen, but to me it still looks like death. And all my friends and family are like, oh my God, your thumb looks so good. I'm like, oh, good compared to fucking what? I mean, this is a good looking thumb. This is hamburger on a stick. And it's useless. I mean, the bones are fused. I can't bend it like I should. I can't feel anything. Doctor stuck a needle in there. Couldn't feel it. Kind of freaked me out. So I just want a video series that I can kind of cling to and say, here's my progress from this to that. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think it may sound self-serving when he says it that way. Me personally, I think it'll be a very valuable thing. Again, not only for himself to be able to look over how he's progressed over time, but for other people, as you kind of alluded to, going through something similar, knowing that, hey, other people have gone through similar situations. Here's how things progressed. It's possible for you to do as well, I guess. Again, this is New Year's Day. I got strep throat like the day after Christmas, and I was miserable in bed for a couple days. And, you know, got antibiotics, and I'm feeling a lot better now. But I'm thinking, man, life sucks right now. I've done nothing for 4 days. I've been sitting in my bed, not doing anything. And then I'm like, oh yeah, and then I'm going to go do a video with Christian where he was in the hospital for 2 weeks on the other side of a mountain range from where everyone else here is. So, you know, you had someone that was able to come visit you, thankfully. But, yeah, you were pretty isolated over there, unfortunately.
It was kind of rough. I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, so...
none of the nurses were cute. At all. They were very matronly and very nice. But they didn't wear the outfit that I like.
Oh, that's too bad. But, you know, and again, by no means are we trying to compare anyone's experience to anyone else's. Just understand when you go through an experience like this where, you know, something very important to you is lost, or you're not able to do it in the same way. Like I was telling him, I can't even fathom what it would be like being someone where guns are such an integral part of my life. Losing or even having limited use of either of my hands is something that I can't even imagine dealing with, and being able to manipulate firearms. So I'm excited to see how Christian progresses with this. I'm excited to see what abilities we're able to get back to once you're fully healed up. I don't know. It'll just be an interesting series. Now, obviously, there's going to be several episodes associated with this. I don't know how many episodes. Kind of depends on how things progress and, you know, what the timeline is. But, you know, if you guys have questions, if we get plenty of questions, we can do, you know, a question and answer video, like how many leeches did they use? Because they did use leeches.
They used leeches.
And again, looking at pictures of the thumb before the leeches versus the thumb after the leeches, huge improvement, I think. But yeah. So if you guys have any questions or recommendations, ways of, you know, whiling away the hours while he's still in recovery. Now you are going to be going back to work finally.
Yeah, in extremely limited capacity. I'll be basically just telling other people what to do, which is no fun whatsoever.
It is for some people, but it's a good thing when it's not fun for you.
Yeah.
If it is fun for you, you're probably not the person who should be telling people what to do all day.
No, probably not.
But, you know, that's just based on my experience in the military. Mm-hmm. Anyway, but if you guys have, you know, recommendations of like physical therapy, ways to get strength back in some of those fingers, different recommendations of weapons manipulation. I know there's a guy, Single-Handed Solutions, a guy with one hand who made videos talking about how to manipulate firearms. Although he hasn't uploaded videos in a while, don't know what happened there. Anyway, but yeah, so again, this is just kind of an introduction to this series that we want to do. What I'll do is, you know, take some close-up pictures of his hand where it's at now. We'll have that at the end of the video. If you want to see what it looked like earlier on, again, follow the link in the description.
It's gross. And
definitely stay tuned, and we'll keep you guys updated. Probably at least once a month, if not more frequently, kind of based on how your recovery goes. But anything else you want to say?
Thumbs up.
Yeah, at least they were able to reattach it. So
after a they did put my pinky on crooked though. It's like shifted over the side a little. I think. I don't know. It's not healed yet, but yeah.
I want to make an admission. I made a really dark joke very shortly after it happened. Because Christian is a 1911 guy. Been trying to talk him into Glocks for a while. I may or may not have told him that I kind of wished he'd lost his thumb, just so he'd have to switch to Glocks since he couldn't sweep off that safety anymore.
It was so funny. I was in just the right frame of mind to hear that.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, but again, if you guys have words of encouragement or whatever else, go and throw that down. If anyone's too negative, I'm not above banning people because that's just not something that anybody
you know who you are. You know who you are.
You make it sound like it's only one person, but there's
one guy.
There's plenty of people.
There's one guy.
Anyway, again, Christian, thanks for letting me do this kind of documentarian following of your road to recovery. And I guess if you don't want to see pictures of close-ups of his hand as of now, now's a good time to skip on to the next video. But if you do want to stick around, we'll go ahead and start rolling in some pictures of what it looks like now so we have a frame of reference for the future.
Awesome.